Hello. Hey, Cheekster. Can you just let me know if everything's all right? Good to see you being the first comment, as always. If anyone else is there, can you hear me? This is kind of the pre-live live. Right. Da-da-da. Anyone there? Hello? Brilliant. Thank you. Okay. Well, I might as well start then. So, welcome to my 5th episode of How Physical Media is Made. Thought I'd do something different, make it a live stream. What I wanted to do was show you how a menu navigation is done when QC testing is performed on the discs we buy. As you may know, if you've read my little paragraph on what this is about, I'm going to be using this DVD, very kindly sent to me by John Clancy from Movie Collector. So thank you very much, John. As you can see, it's still new and sealed. The navigation part shouldn't take too long. It should only be about 10 minutes. So I don't want to bore you, but it will give you an idea of how sort of mundane this kind of work can be. And so just thinking of all those people that, sit there for hours, 8 hours a day doing this job, getting these discs ready for us to buy. And what's on here is just 2 menus. So the main menu and a scene selection menu. So if you think about Disney releases or Universal big Paramount releases that have got multiple menus, just think how long that's going to take to get through the navigation part. So yeah, where am I getting a delay from? I guess it's coming out of my own speakers, isn't it? Anyway, never mind. We'll persevere. If anything goes wrong, it goes wrong. I will be bringing kind of a guest in shortly because I'm going to need that guest to do the menu navigation. So, just a little overview of the previous 4 episodes of How Physical Media is Made. So we started with basically what we call the ingest, where the assets have come into the building and we set a terabytes worth of space for a 2K feature, and that takes however long it takes to ingest. They're usually left overnight, or it was going to take hours to ingest all that information. Missed something. So before that, there's the QAR test. I think it's something like quality assurance record. So the assets come in on these big tapes called HD Cam SR tapes. And so that will be played and someone will watch all the video and everything that's on there to make sure that it's not faulty before we even start trying to ingest it. Then you ingest it. Then someone has to check the ingest afterwards. So there's 3 things already. We're nowhere near a disk. And this is all in a completely different department. So I guess there were a few different levels of quality control. The department I worked in mostly was once the discs, especially at Sony, once the discs were starting to be compiled, once all the content was starting to be put onto a disc, invariably you do things multiple times, the same feature, because the menus will be added and they might be added one at a time. The subtitles might be added later and all this, that, and the other. So anyway, as I said, I've got those 4 episodes in a playlist. There's a few other videos in there as well that are sort of related to how physical media is made. And so I don't go on for too long. you can watch those at your own leisure and hopefully get a gist of what goes into making these discs. Bearing in mind, John did all this himself. So sort of what you learned from this, he had to do all this by himself. And he's said on videos before of his own that he's basically set the computer running to basically ingest what's come off his camera, and he's just left it overnight. And 10, 12, 15 hours later, and then he could start working on creating the disc content. Right. So I don't know how I can tell how many people are watching, but that doesn't matter too much. So obviously I did my last stream on YouTube and that was easy to understand, but this one is on StreamYard, as you can see. So any questions so far before I get started with the navigation part of it? Just let me know, and I'll see what I can answer for you. Just say hi if you're there. If it's just me and Cheekster, well, it's just me and Cheekster. 4 people watching. Wow, thank you, Cheekster. Well, say hello, let me know who you are, and you know what? I'm going to unwrap this. So thanks again, John, for allowing me to use this content, and that means that YouTube can't give me a copyright strike because I have permission to use this. And there we go. So if you wanted proof, J. Clancy. There you go. All right, let's get this open. 2 discs. Right. So what's on disc 2? Disc 2 contains a series of extra films. Okay, so I'm going to just do the navigation off disc 1 because that should be the main feature, and that should play like a movie will. So you know what, I'll just get started, and if anyone decides to watch this afterwards, then they can. Weird doing this backwards. So there we go. Triumph TR7 TR8 In Detail. So let's bring on the guests, shall we? At the stream. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap that for that. So you'll be able to see the screen nice and easily, hopefully. I know where I'm getting my second lot of audio from. It's coming from my phone. So while I load this disc, I shall mute my phone too. Right, so let's see what we've got. So there we go, copyright warning, that's to be expected. Now, can I skip it? No. Can I scan it? Yes, I can scan it. And there's the menu. So great. That'll be nice and easy. So this could be quicker than I thought. So I'm not going to load the disc again because it's not a tray, it's my PS3, and I don't want to have to get up again and reload the disc. But so if I was to turn up to work, and my duty for that day was menu navigation, and we're probably talking about when I was at Testronics here, not at Sony. But so if I turned up to Testronics, which was at Prime Studios, and I could see that on the board, right, this title, the Triumph series, Bullet Reloaded, and that would be on the left hand side of the board, and then there'd be a series of squares for compatibility. So it would be station 1 to 9 or whatever it was. Then there'd be 2 columns perhaps for menu navigation. Then would be some more columns for the linear plays, the watch throughs, and what you would do in the box, you would put INW, which meant in work. I can't remember if we put initials. I think, yeah, we used to put initials in the box as well, just so someone could see, oh, who's doing this? All right, yeah. And then under that whiteboard would be a shelf, and on the shelf would be the check discs, all piled up in the order that they were to be worked in. And as I said before, we will either have 10 discs, sometimes 20 discs. So of course I would take a disc. I would go to a station where I can do a menu navigation, and then I would have to get a bomb. That is bill of material. Now, obviously, John hasn't provided this for me or anything like that. That's didn't want anything like that. I just wanted to look at this disc and go at it blind, sort of thing. So a bill of material would have all the contents of the disc. So the warning that you saw, and any disclaimers, any trailers, any studio logos. If they weren't present on the disc, but it specified they were there, then obviously that would be an issue. So, right. So I've loaded the disc. I found out that I cannot skip the warning, which is correct. You shouldn't be allowed to skip it because it has to be there for legal reasons. But on this player, I could scan, and then it wouldn't be on screen for so long. Oh, excuse me. And so that's okay. That's allowed, and different studios would have different rules. So Disney might allow you to scan, but obviously not skip. Universal or Paramount might say you're not allowed to skip or scan anything. So if you were testing those discs, you would have to do it multiple times, because obviously if you did skip, then you need to reload it to see if it was a fluke, and you'd also need to reload it so that you could then try scanning it. And if you couldn't scan it, then that's good. You should get the message up saying this operation is barred. And then obviously the same for the trailers. Some trailers you can skip, some you can't. So it's different rules, different clients. There's one of the videos, I think, in the playlist for how physical media is made. It explains about Disney discs, and how you can get to the main feature far quicker. And this was back on DVD. Obviously, if you've seen the Blu-rays now, they come up and they have a menu that pops up and explains what you can do. A paragraph comes up on screen explaining that you can just go straight to the movie, or you can go to the menus or watch the trailers. So that's nice that it gave you a choice. But so obviously this has just got the warning, and then it's gone straight to the main menu. So this has a menu loop. You're gonna have to put up with any motorbikes, I'm afraid. Yeah, because they're a pain in the backside. But so the highlight is where it should be, which is on play. That's what you would expect. And I'm pretty sure, obviously, every disc that we did, the highlight would always be on play. I'm just trying to think. There's something telling me that there was certain discs that might have been different. Now, obviously, a bonus disc will be different. It it should be always on the top option in the menu of what to watch. So what I will do is I will press the right button on my remote and it should go to chapters. So it's woken up the highlight. If I press right, so the highlight was on play, and there we go. There's 3 movements. So the highlight is on play. I go up and it goes to whatever that is. I'm guessing that's the feature. And then this is the chapter selection. So one thing you have to look out for is, what does the highlight look like? Now, I'm sure this is correct. I do imagine it's meant to be a proper sort of square, but if you look at that, the bottom left and the top right corner, there's bits of the highlight missing. Now, that doesn't bother me, but a client might not like that. And so that would have to be reported. So if I go back to that one again, that one's a full square. So I see why. So if you can see, the thumbnail above chapters has a kind of fancy border, and actually the thumbnail matched the border, so that's very nicely done. Not thumbnail, do we call them buttons? Can't remember. It's been a long time since I've done any of this, and menus was not actually my job, but I did have to learn how to do it, and I did a few. Obviously it pays to learn other aspects of your job so you can be really good at what you're doing. So right, now another test will be so I go right again, or I went right just as the menu looped and the highlight disappeared. That's it, highlight, not button, highlight. So that is a very good highlight in the fact it matches the border. Now if I press right again, nothing happens. That's okay. That's obviously the way John designed it. You may find that you have menus and discs where you can press, if you've got 4 or 5 options along the bottom of the screen, that you can press right from the end and it will loop round to the first option, instead of you having to go back along. So let me have some water. Hey AJ. Yes, Cheekster, Pioneer Kuro. My pride and joy. Yes, just as much as my projector. Right, so so to get back, obviously I need to press left. So I do that and the highlight moves to the main feature. Now, if I press up, will it go down? No. Okay, so that would be another option. If you had a menu that had multiple options, say 3 or 4, to get to the bottom one, sometimes you can navigate upwards and it will jump to the bottom option. But again, that's client specific. So if I now go left, nothing should happen, going by what happened when I went right on the other thumbnail. Nope, nothing happened. So that's good. That's all working. Now, if I go down to play, if you remember, I pressed right the first time and it went up. So if I press right again, it's gone up. Now if I press down and then if I press left, will it go up? Yes, it does. Okay, so that's the that's how, hopefully that's how John wanted it. So then what you do is you literally just go right, right, nothing, left, left, nothing, down, down, nothing, up, 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 nothing. Okay, so you establish that there's no loops. So if I was to go up and the highlight goes down to the bottom option, that's a loop, a highlight loop kind of thing. So essentially, that's the main menu of this disk navigated. But now we have to test the buttons. So the first thing we need to do is press the play button. So I press enter. This operation is not available here. Why is that? That's because I hit it on the menu loop. Wow. Right, so we're not here to watch this. I hope you can hear me. So now what I need to do is press the skip button backwards. So within the first chapter, I cannot skip backwards. That's fine. Sometimes...
One of the most controversial cars of all time.
There you go. Now I paused it because I don't want to have too much noise other than me talking. Lovely car. Okay, so I pressed back within the first chapter and it didn't allow me to go back. That's fine. That's good. So I guess the only way then to get back to the beginning of chapter 1 is maybe use a time search or reload the chapter. So now if I do menu call, pressing the menu button, if I can remember where it is on this PS3, menu call. There we go. Now the highlight is on play. It wouldn't have been wrong if the highlight was on this option here. But the fact I selected play to enter the feature, it makes sense that the highlight is remained there. Now, if I enter the feature via this thumbnail, it should start again. Yep. So we're back at the beginning. Let me try skipping back whilst it's playing. No, okay, so as you can see on screen, we call that barred. So skipping back within chapter 1 is barred. But now I need to go back to the menu because we've not finished. There's no point in getting carried away and doing any of the skipping through chapters and everything. So back to main menu. Now I've got to test this button. So there's 3 buttons on the screen. Obviously the play, the feature, thumbnail, and this chapter selection. So this should take me to another menu. If I press enter, and there we go. So one thing I can do is try pressing menu from this button and see what happens. Right, that's perfectly normal. Menu call has resumed the playback of the feature. You can try all this on your discs yourself. Disney ones are probably the best to try it on. They seem to be the most open. Okay, so now I need to go back to the menu. So I press menu call again. And it's gone back to main menu, so that's fine. Let's get rid of that. Go back into here. So how many buttons do we have? So we have 8 chapters, so 8 thumbnails. And then we have a home menu button. So that's 9 buttons in all. The highlight, understandably, is on chapter 1. Now, keep that in mind because a little bit later on, when I go back into this menu, I'm thinking something else might happen. So now if I go back to the home button and I press enter, it should take me back to the main menu. It does. And it has also put the highlight on play. So that's good. Sometimes it might still be on chapters because that's the menu we entered. Again, different rules, different clients. So, right. Back to here. Okay, now, if I press up, will it go anywhere? Judging by the main menu, I would say it won't go anywhere. But let's try it. So I press up. No, it hasn't gone anywhere. So I press down. I press down again. Now if I press down again, will it loop up or will it stay where it is? Ah, well that's bizarre. It jumped to chapter 9. So I press down again. It's jumped to chapter 9. Now that could be an issue. It's not really here because I imagine all this works. But this is something we would have to flag up to a client and say, Navigating down from the chapter 6 thumbnail takes you to the chapter 9 thumbnail. Okay, so back up from chapter 6 and then back up from chapter 1. Okay, now this is a bit, I'll do it a little bit quicker, so I can just navigate across, try the looping. Oh, it loops down. Okay, John, next time can you do a longer menu loop? No, only kidding. So yes, the menu loop, all these thumbnails, as you saw, it refreshed, and that means it reached the end of the menu loop. Now it's really impressive that all these thumbnails are active and have video playing in them. To make sure my phone hasn't exploded. No, everything seems all right. Okay. Yeah, my phone is definitely showing the picture a little blurry, but you can see the highlight. Okay. So are you still following me? You're not asleep? Anyone? So yes, I navigated right. So now I need to navigate back, and then I will press right from this thumbnail and nothing happens. Okay, that's good. Now what I sometimes would expect to happen is navigating right from chapter 5 would take me down to chapter 6. But clearly that's not the case here. So again, we'd make a note of that and we'd let the client know. So now on this row, I will go this way and I will go back. So they all go sequentially. That's good. If I go left from here, nothing happens. If I go right from here, nothing happens. Okay, so we've done up and down from here. Now I go up and down from here. Now I'm going to try and do this. I'm glad you're still awake, Cheekster. So if this looks a bit sort of, I'm doing this really quick. Obviously, a professional menu navigator is going to do this as quick as they can. So, so up and down. That's down from every thumbnail is still going to chapter 9. Okay, that's a bit weird, but okay. Up has gone from to main menu. Okay, so that's good because there is a button above these thumbnails. I would suspect that they all go up to the main menu. Yes, there we go. Yes, and hopefully this one. Yes, right. So now I need to cycle between those two. Press down. That goes left, right. Sorry, I'm left and right. And menus looped again. Now sometimes a menu loop will time out and start the feature. Mainly in the main menu that might happen. So sometimes you got to be quick because if your menu only loops 3 times, the feature's going to start and you've got to come out and start again, kind of thing. Okay, so cycle between these two. If I go up, that goes to there. We already established that. That's good. If I go down from 9 goes to 10, down from 8 goes to 9, down from 7 goes to 9, and down from 6 goes to 9. Okay, so there's a few minor errors, but it's not going to break the disc. And you guys buying this disc wouldn't sit here and do this anyway, so it won't matter. But again, we would report all this to the client that it doesn't seem to be behaving as we would expect. So now I need to check all the chapter points work. And I also need to check that the piece of video in the thumbnail is actually in the chapter. So we already know this car is here. So that's fine. Now, if I press menu, I'm wondering if it will go back to the chapter menu rather than the main menu. So let's see. Yes, it has. See, that's fine. That's good. Now I'll go chapter 2.
Production commenced towards the end of 1974.
There we go. So thankfully, John's been very kind and put the video in the thumbnail as the beginning of the chapter. Now I'll tell you a bit more about selecting chapter points in a moment. So now I need to press menu again. Now, do you think the menu is going to land on chapter 1 or the chapter we are on? I imagine it's going to be on the chapter we are on. And there we go. So I need to do that for all the buttons.
The TR7 spoker was actually the victory.
And there we go. So that's correct.
In Triumph terms, Group 44 were probably best at.
Right, as you can see there, I was accidentally on top menu. Now I'll explain what top menu is shortly. So we should see a car coming around a corner.
In the UK, the
There we
TR7
go.
competition program was run by the Abingdon Works.
Right. So now I've got to navigate either all the way here to get to number 6 or all the way here. Whereas, like I said, if it had been designed so I could go right and it jumped to 6, that would have been nicer, but you know. Okay, so chapter 6.
There was better cooperation between the Abingdon Works team and John Buffin's Libre Racing in the US, with Buffin coming
There we
here
go.
to drive Abingdon prepared cars in
I was just waiting to see that the piece of video was in there. Oh, I see. Wow, that's even better. It's sort of, yeah. The thumbnail had been playing along, so I had to wait for that bit, the thumbnail, to appear on screen, so I knew it was correct. Number 7.
There were many.
Then also something else we need to do. I won't do this for all of them. So I need to bring up my display. And if you can see along the bottom, so we've got title 92. So this part of the disc, each aspect of the disc, so your trailers, they'll be in a title. Your warnings, I think they'll be in a title. And all your bonus features will be different titles. So sometimes you can title search, but generally that's locked, and that kind of should be locked. But I think Disney or Buena Vista Home Entertainment, I think you can title search. And right, so then we can see we're at chapter 7, so that's good. The fact that I selected chapter 7 and chapter 7 is showing. So now if I get rid of my display, see, it's all coming back to me now. Menu call. Highlight is on chapter 7, which is good. Chapter 8. There we go. Chapter 8 in the display. That's good. Obviously, we used to use players that weren't PlayStations. Regular players that have a counter display on the front, and we could set it to display title and chapters, so I wouldn't have to keep pressing the button to bring up the display on screen. I could just look at the player. So menu call again, and obviously it's a slightly convoluted way of doing menu call on these PS3, so it would be even quicker on a regular player where you just press menu. And select chapter 9.
The Abingdon TR7 V8 rally program was cancelled at the end of 1980. With the last
and there we go. Just checking that we
rally
see the gentleman walk in front of the car. There we go.
Finished 7th after.
Chapter 9, that's good. Menu call. And chapter 10. Bit of Knight Rider.
The TR7 attracts.
Nice camera work, John. I'm impressed, mate. It looks lovely, this documentary, and I shall sit and watch it at some point. Don't worry, I won't do a watch through. I won't test it. Okay, so that's all those thumbnails checked. Now I'm going to go back to the main menu. I'm going to select play, and it should start from the beginning. It does. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip through the chapters, and I'll do it with the display on. So hopefully we see the chapter numbers go up sequentially. Chapter 2, that's good. And if you can remember your thumbnails and what you saw each time, that will help you as well.
Before, the TR7 spoker was actually in trouble. There was better.
And there we go. Right, now another thing I can try. Can I skip out of the feature? Can I exit the feature by pressing skip? Press play.
The Abingdon TR7 TR8.
Right, so where have we gone? Chapter 9. Sorry, there was 10, isn't there? Ooh, rookie mistake.
Rally program.
Now we're in the last chapter. So can I skip out? No, that's barred. That's fine. That's all right. That's the way John wanted it, I hope. Okay, so now I will skip back, put the display on again. I have to press skip back twice to skip back a chapter.
There was better.
Oops. I'm going to try that again because I'm pretty sure I only pressed twice.
The
Be a bit slower.
Production.
And there we go. So now I'll do that going the other way, but quicker.
The TR.
And 10. So now if I do menu call, we should go back to the chapter selection menu, in theory, and be on. No, we're not. Okay. That's because I entered the feature through. See, this is how complicated it gets. Because I entered the feature through the play button, it has done what it's supposed to do and take me back. Menu call has taken me back to the play button. So as we established, so if I go, well, we've already done that, haven't we? So now I'm going to press top menu. That's top menu. And there you go. It's taking me back to the main menu. So top menu, if you have a disk with multiple languages on, the language selection menu, or as we called it, the initial selection menu, should be the front of the disk, should be the first thing that comes up. Might be after a logo sometimes. And so that's your top menu. The first menu on the disk is your top menu. So if you're in the feature and you're thinking, hang on, I've picked the wrong language, you should be able to press top menu, take you to the initial selection menu. You select the language you were supposed to select, and then it should load as per those languages. And then your feature should play in that language. Okay, what else is there? So if I enter the feature through here and I press top menu, does the same thing. Good. Now, if I press top menu from here, okay, that has done something a little strange. It's resumed the feature. Kind of worked just like a menu button, which is fine. But then I press top menu again and it's come back to the main menu. Can be confusing, huh? So now if I go back to the feature, sorry, the chapter selection menu, let's pick a random chapter. This one.
In triad terms,
top menu from there. I'm hoping main menu and play. That's good. But now if I press top menu from each thumbnail,
Group 44 were
yeah. So that's behaving a little, not wrong, but a bit strange. Top menu.
probably best known for their success with the TR8.
So this would be something I would let the client know.
TR8.
It seems to be resuming to the same point, regardless of where I am. And, you know, again, you're not going to do this, so it's not really a problem. But it's definitely something that would have to be rectified. Let's do it from all the thumbnails. So this is the chapter we're in.
This was a very special car.
And you notice it does continue on. It's not like it's going back to the beginning of the chapter or anything. It's, so what's the time code? 3811. So if I top menu again, go back to here, go to chapter 5, press top menu.
Capable of up to 180 miles per hour.
It's just continuing on. So anyway, clearly if I do that from each thumbnail, it's going to do that. But I don't want to bore you too much. Hopefully we can get onto some questions. Okay, so now, so as I mentioned, the bill of material. So this inlays are not always right, as you know. And even though there is a job where someone has to check that the text going on the inlay is correct to the disc, it can still go wrong. So what they do in that job, I don't know. But so total runtime, main feature, 84 minutes. What do we have? So yes, right. The fact it says 1 hour 23:36. If it said 1 hour 23:29, it would be 83 minutes. But because it's gone over the half a minute mark, we class that as 84 minutes. Just makes things a bit easier. So that's correct. So the extras are longer, but that's on the other disc. So the screen ratio, 16:9. So this clip is clearly 4:3 because it's an old piece of video.
We therefore took the TR7 spoker. Was that?
But there you go. That's now full screen. So that's 16:9. And I can tell because this player is actually upscaling to 1080, and my TV is, the overscan is off. So it's showing me 100% of the picture. I won't go into detail about overscan and that because that's something else. So then what else does the disc say? So Dolby Digital 2.0 for putting up the display. There you go. It's Dolby Digital logo. 2 ch and it's 48 kilohertz at 256 kilobytes per second. And the video codec is an MPEG-2, and that's playing back at about 8 megabytes per second. So as you can see, it's really good quality. So this is a very good DVD, even though it says it's NTSC. Now, this should be region free. I don't really have a means of testing the region. You can put it in Power DVD on your PC and bring up the display and the region should tell you it's either all regions and it will list 1 to 9, or it would be region 1, 2, or 0, or whatever. So that would be the way we would check the region code. For Blu-rays, because there were only 3 regions, we had to get a PS3 from Russia because that is the only location in the world that's region C. So obviously UK and Europe and Australia and probably a few other places is region B, and America and Asia is region A, but Russia is region C. So that was the only way we could doubly make sure that we were checking a region C disc was on a Russian PS3 player. So any other information? It says region 0, so there you go. That's good. My guess was correct. Well, that pretty much brings the end of sort of the navigation. I don't know how long we've been going. Where's the counter? Wow, 46 minutes. So hopefully we've not been going for 46 minutes on the menu navigation. But so any questions, get them in the box and I'll answer them. If you want to go off topic, we can do. I don't mind. So one thing I also can do is press stop, and what's going to happen, and if I press play, will it resume the feature, or will it just load the disc again? I suspect it will load the disc again, i.e. get the warning. No, it's resumed. That's fine. That's a good. That's definitely something that can happen. Obviously, these DVDs, there's no Java content, so the player can cope with what we've just done. The main reason why your Blu-rays will not resume is because they have Java content on them. Obviously, not all Blu-rays. If there's no animated little logo, which is where the Java screen is, then you should be able to press stop and press play, and it should resume where you left off again. But definitely on Disney discs, and quite possibly big Universal and Paramount discs, if there's any kind of logo you see animated, then that's your Java load screen. And that's basically all what goes behind the menus and allows the menus to work and that kind of stuff. So the stop play function has worked. And now my boss, when I was at Sony, would do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. He would try and break the disc. So he'd do what I've just done, and he'd menu call and see where it takes him. And so it's gone to chapters. And if I press menu call again, does it resume? Yes, it does. If I top menu, it's gone to where it's supposed to go. If I top menu again, does it resume?
In which they're TR7.
Yes, it does resume. So he would do all sorts of weird and wonderful things with these discs. And, I thought there was a lot when I was at Testronic in Pimer Studios. But our navigators didn't do anywhere near as much as he did as we were building the discs. And, of course, every time a new menu got put onto the disc, he'd have to do it again. And he'd have to repeat everything that he'd done before because there's a new menu and something may have changed. So probably going to go for another 10 minutes or so. So again, if you've got any questions, let us know. And are you okay? Are you alive? Are you breathing? Are you happy? What are you watching tonight? Because I'm going to try and watch something after this. And you know what? Let's press stop and let's leave the disc alone. We'll say bye-bye to the you can't really read that because it's blurry, but let's remove the telly. It's having me full screen again. Whoa. And I'm just going to turn my phone off because I don't want it to melt. Ow. Wow, my phone is hot. Cheekster, right. What movie will you be watching tonight? That is a really good question. What movie should I watch tonight? Let's see. I really don't know. I can't watch 4K at the moment. Would you believe my 4K player has broken? Yes, you spend £1,000 on a Panasonic player and the tray stops opening. So I've had to send it back. Hopefully, at least by next week, I should have it back up and running again. If it happens again, I will send it back and I should ask for my money back. I do wonder if it's happened because it has been region hacked. I'm not saying they've done anything untoward, but I do wonder if it is messed with the software in a way or something like that. So let me just turn the PS3 off for now, seeing as it'd be wasting electricity. So obviously, I watched the video Nasty last night or the night before. Where are we? Wednesday? No, Tuesday was when. Yeah, last night was when I watched it, and of course I uploaded the video of the 39. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Driller Killer, and you know, I've just had The Burning turn up on 4K, and you know, it would be lovely to watch that. But like I said, I can't watch 4K at the moment, so I'm gonna have to pick a Blu-ray. Now I could do another Marvel. I did Thor: The Dark World the other night. So whatever's next in the MCU, I could watch that. My wife has gone out, so I've got the flat to myself. Or I could watch a horror. But what I'll do is I'll probably just browse and pick something because at the moment I don't know. Are you going to watch anything, Cheekster? AJ, you still there? You had enough, mate? I'm guessing Pete's got a live stream on. I expect people are there watching that. But hey, I wanted to do it this way. I've done it. I'm pleased I've done it. And, you know, it's out there for people to come across, isn't it? And the fact I could demonstrate what happens in an authoring house, or one of the aspects of what happens in an authoring house. So Cheeks is possibly going to watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Wow, okay. Yeah, I haven't got around to seeing that yet myself. We have seen the other two. Have I got both of them on 4K? I think I have. Definitely got one of them on 4K. So you watched The Flash last night. Great. Did you enjoy it? Is it good seeing Michael Keaton and Batman back? And do you think that they will do a standalone Batman film with Michael Keaton and maybe Tim Burton? That would be good, wouldn't it? There's no reason why they can't. We all got really excited when they announced that Michael Keaton was going to be in The Flash. So, yeah, I think they could get away with the standalone film, finish off his trilogy, and they can make it as dark as they like. It could be, perhaps you could call it Batman: The Dark Knight, and maybe not spell night with a K. So you know, do that sort of thing. But okay, so 5 minutes left. What can I talk about in 5 minutes? Right, so Cheekster, Flash was entertaining. No, there is unlikely to be a standalone with Michael Keaton now that James Gunn is in charge. Oh, really? Oh, take a gun to James Gunn and shoot him. Oh, I don't know. I think the fans will scream out for it, and I think they might have to bow down and go, you know what, we need to do this. Why wouldn't you? This surely be a big moneymaker. And there was previously plans for a Brave and the Bold movie with a much older Batman. Oh, right. The Brave and the Bold, is that? I'm guessing that's part of DC. I'm not really a comic person. Obviously, I like the movies. I could easily get into comics if I really wanted to, because I love the artwork and the stories are obviously great. But with the fact there's millions of comics out there, I just who has that many lives to sit and read all these things? I know obviously AJ collects his comics. My mate, he collects his comics. He's very into Transformers as well. So, hey Lucas, I'm going to watch Insidious: The Red Door. Hopefully, it will be good. And by the way, awesome demonstration on physical media QR testing. Ah, cool. So that's not QR testing. That's quality control. So QC, and it's a menu navigation test. So QAR was basically watching the content on the tape before it's ingested. So it's come into the building, we've received it, and we stick it in a machine. We go to one of the viewing suites, and we pipe it into the room, and we watch the content of the disc, the tape. That's the QAR. I do have written down somewhere exactly what happens in a QAR, and I need to find that paperwork. Perhaps that could be my next How Physical Media is Made episode. And thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the demonstration. Hope it wasn't too boring. So, yeah, QC, yeah, I get you. So anyway, yeah, sorry, you were going to watch Insidious. Now, I stopped watching those Insidious because there was such a big gap between watching the first one and the second one. Even though the second one's kind of a prequel, my mate and I, we were just lost, and so it's like, oh, okay, let's we need to go back and watch the first one again. And then other films came out, and I kind of forgot about the Insidious franchise, and then of course they started making more films, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to wait until they finish making films, and then I'll watch them all together. So yeah, let me know if it's good. I really enjoyed the first one. So there's no reason I shouldn't enjoy the others. And of course, it's made by the guys who made Saw, and we know how good a film that is. So yeah. So what can I watch? I need to watch a film that's standalone, not one that's part of a franchise, not one that's, unless it's a Marvel, because obviously, if you are aware, my theme for this year viewing is Marvel Cinematic Universe. I probably should have done little reviews or after each film, rather than trying to do one big thing at the end of the year saying what I thought of each film. But hey, I haven't done that, so I'm just going to have to try and remember what I thought of each one when I get to the end of the year. So maybe I'll watch a Marvel film. Obviously, it'll be on my projector, not my Pioneer. As much as I love my TV, watching films on the big screen is just such a lovely experience. It's different to being at the cinema, in the sense that the screen is so big at the cinema, and there's so many other people in there. There's kind of all these distractions, and it's a bit overwhelming. I find it a bit overwhelming. Doesn't mean I say I don't enjoy films at the cinema. I do. But watching here, where the screen is like, twice the size of a TV, but still small compared to a cinema screen, I get enough information that I really enjoy. I see things that you don't normally see that kind of get lost on a smaller image, because they're blown up and they're there to be seen nice and clearly. So clearly it's not just the dialogue from the characters or the props that they're using. There's other aspects of the film, especially in horror films, where you might sort of see something that's going to come up later on, and you're like, "Oh, I did see that," and that kind of thing. It just blowing the picture up this big, as large as my screen is, just makes it easier to see what's on the screen. And it's not because I need glasses or anything. I do have reading glasses, but the information is just there ready for you. You're not having to hunt the tiny TV screen for it. So any other questions? Anyone else out there? Because right, we just hit the hour. Okay, Captain America: The Winter Soldier 2014 is the next movie after Thor: Dark World. Thank you, Cheekster. Yes, I do believe you're correct, and it's one of your favorites. Wow. Let's put it up on screen. There we go. Yes, I was not that keen on it. I don't know why. Maybe I'll be able to answer that once I watch it again. So, having said that, maybe I'm not in the mood to watch a Marvel film right now. Obviously, the cutscene at the end of the credits is to do with the Winter Soldier. So, yeah. But seeing all these 4K stacked there, I would love to watch a 4K. But now I'm going to have to hunt for a Blu-ray that I really want to watch. And not quite in the mood to watch John's documentary right now, but I will watch it. The Russo brothers. What's that? You lost me. What, as in Bucky and Captain America? They were brothers. They were mates, weren't they? So no, I'm making things up here. Oh, okay, fair enough. Maybe I don't like their films. Yeah. See, you'd think that I'd be up on all these directors and everything. I mean, it took me to watch the channel What the Horror, where the presenter is Sarah, where she did her documentary on Saw, her 2-part documentary, which is brilliant and well worth a view. To really get it grained into my head that it was now their names have gone out of my head. Just James Wan and Thingy, who directed Saw. And the fact that one of the directors is in the film, I didn't know that. I'm not one of these people that kind of necessarily likes to learn all these things. Now, I pick up on Tarantino being in his own films because it's a very Hitchcockian thing to do. Very aware of who Steven Spielberg is and his movies, and Clint Eastwood and all that kind of stuff. But it's not something I concentrate on. Oh, okay. Well, I have not seen Infinity War or Endgame yet. Would you believe? So you may think, well, hang on, why have I started again? Because it's been so long since I sort of started from, I suppose, Iron Man, that I just thought, no, I need to start fresh. The pandemic and everything was on, or it was coming to the end, and we weren't quite ready to go back to the cinema yet. And we've only really started to go back recently, I have to say. But we have watched. I have seen, like Ant-Man. We are up to the Black Panther. We've seen that. So whatever's after Black Panther will be our next. Although we have seen Captain Marvel. Get lost to where all this goes. I do hope they stop soon with these Marvel films because it's going on too long. And it's hard to keep up with everything. Franchises should be 10 movies long, stop there, that kind of thing. At the most, obviously, we're going to get Fast and Furious 11, which I think they shot at the same time as Fast and Furious 10. Right. So Cheekster says, with the Insidious franchise, there is at least one more movie already in pre-production. Yeah. So that will take it to 6, will it? I think that makes it 6, and I like that. I like around number 6, 2 trilogies. That's why I like the Jurassic World 6 films. Yes, we all know it's Jurassic Park, but it's the world of Jurassic. So it's Jurassic World, isn't it? So hopefully they don't do any more there. But no doubt if the fans cry out for it enough, they will. But that's definitely one of my franchises that I'll be watching soon because I think my wife and I, yes, that makes him 6 good. See, I do kind of pay attention, and it does kind of set in and sink in, but there's so much going on up here that I find it hard to keep it all in. Anyway, right, well, what is the time? Right, well, it's 25 to 8. So I'm going to call it a day. I'll just read this out. The Fast and Furious has 2 more installments. Oh my god. Then supposedly that will be it for the main franchise. Yeah, no doubt there'll be more Hobbs and Shaw. And kind of why not? But the Fast X was kind of okay. They have kind of gone off the boil a bit. And well, thank you for watching. Very much appreciated. And I don't mind, it was just basically you and me. And, well, you said 4 people were watching. So AJ obviously popped in, and Lucas. So thank you for joining me. I'm glad I did manage to remember what I remembered. And as I said, there is a lot more involved than what I just showed you. So the fact it took me, half an hour to do that many navigation whilst talking to you, shows how easy it would be to fill up an 8-hour day on 1, maybe 2 discs. And, we would have 10, 15 titles a week. Some of them will be different SKUs of the same thing. So one SKU would be the UK SKU, then you might have the French SKU. So of course it will have the English language on it because it's an English language film, but it will then have the French on it. And if the English one is a vanilla disc, which is just one menu, which is your play, subtitle select, and that's it, and nothing moving, that's called a vanilla disc. They're obviously the easiest to check, do menu navigation on. So what John did, he was very clever to have put that together himself, having 2 menus. And where did we get 10, 11, 14 buttons, and 12 of them with video thumbnails in. So that's very clever. I would say get over to John's channel and, I don't know, or his community page or somewhere, and just say, hey, well done, John. Or if you are impressed with John's documentary from what you've seen here, leave it in the comments for this video. I'm sure he'll appreciate reading that. And I want to thank you again, John, for allowing me to use your content. And, sorry I found things wrong with it, but they aren't not wrong because the disc doesn't break. But hey, you know, if you ever decide to do a disc again and you want someone to check it who kind of knows what they're doing, you know who to send it to. Not me. Anyway, right, Cheekster, Lucas, anyone watching, thanks for my being there for my second live stream. And if you're watching this after the fact, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. And again, any questions that you couldn't ask me because you didn't watch it live, ask me in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you with the best answer I can. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Say goodbye. Enjoy your evening, whatever you watch, whatever you're going to do. Now I'm going to try and decide what I want to watch. So it's the end of the video. Take it easy.